Want to welcome everybody to this exciting evening where we're talking Wildcat women's hockey. My name is Mike Murphy, Associate Athletic Director here at UNH. We are joined by alumni, supporters, family, friends, and we're talking Wildcat hockey here tonight, which is very exciting. And no better place to start the conversation than with the head coach of the Wildcats, Hillary Witt. So, Coach Witt, thanks for joining us here for it's not midseason because it's going pretty quickly, but it's still a good time to check in on the team and how things are going with the Wildcat women's hockey program. So let's start with how's the head coach?
You're great, Murph. It is a long season, but when you get to the middle of January, all of a sudden it goes really fast. So we're right in the thick of it. It's fun right now. Players are having a blast, and we're just ready to keep competing. So far, so good. We have a lot of great things going on. But first, I want to take the opportunity to introduce Dr. Allison Rich, who's our Director of Athletics. We're very fortunate to have her here. She's been here now a little bit over a year, I guess, and a half. And she's been a very good supporter. So I just want to give her a few minutes to kind of speak on behalf of herself and the department.
Great. Thank you, Hillary. Nice to see everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your evening to join us. Hillary's right. I've been here a little over a year and a half, and sometimes it feels like it's flying by. Other times it's dog years, but it's been a great experience. I've loved being here, and I love working with our women's hockey program. So thank you all for your support of the program. A little bit about my vision for UNH athletics. You know, our mission is to provide an outstanding student athlete experience. The student athlete experience is at the forefront of everything that we do. We want them to be engaged with us. We want them to be connected, and we want them to have such a great experience that they remain engaged with us once they graduate and remain Wildcats for life. And that's been an important tagline for us because in addition to keeping our current student athletes engaged and staying with us and being with us for life, we have a lot of alumni and fans and supporters all over the country and all over the world that have been engaging with us and are connected with us and our Wildcats for life. So it's a great way to show our student athletes that they're part of something much bigger than themselves. They're part of an amazing tradition of Wildcat hockey and of Wildcat athletics, and it's exciting for them to see as they learn that and to see the pride that they have for being a part of it. I feel really strongly on our role as the front porch of the university. Athletics in general, we are the way that a lot of people come to learn about, come to know UNH, come to hear all the great things that are happening. There's a lot of data that shows that with a university, many people learn as much as possible or get excited or get interested in the university because of the success and the exciting things that are happening with their athletics program. And that's no difference for us. Our student athletes are outstanding in the classroom. Last year, we had a 3.41 GPA overall across the board, 10 teams over a 3.5. We have a 95% graduation success rate. So they're really doing very well in the classroom. They're leading on campus, and they're doing amazing work on the fields, courts, ice, etc. So we're really proud of that, and we're really proud of the positive attention that our student athletes and our athletics programs bring to the university. We are right now in the middle of some exciting facilities upgrades. We just completed a renovation of our track, our outdoor track, which is really exciting. So if you're on campus, take a look out back. It's blue and gray. It's beautiful. It looks like it belongs instead of the red that used to really highlight the beautiful red of the field house behind it. Now it looks like it really belongs. It's in our colors. It's exciting. So come take a look at that. We'll be hosting a number of different track meets out there this spring and summer. So excited to get the community and our fans involved with that. We updated the back deck of the field house, which is great. You can see if anybody comes to football games, it's the beer deck, but it's also the deck outside our basketball arena. And it was something that had to be fixed. There was a leak, and we took it as an opportunity to really make it beautiful and put pavers out and lights. And it's a really special place out there now too. And we're going to use that a lot more than we have in the past. Our women's locker rooms in the field house are being renovated, just been pushed up. We thought it was going to start this summer. It's now starting in April, which is really exciting. And we'll do it in a phased process over the course of a year to really update those locker rooms, provide our student athletes and our coaches and teams with some great space, not only to change and prepare for games, but to meet and to watch film and there'll be some lounge space. We're going to update our fueling station. So it's going to be really a great experience for them as well there. And we just had a really very generous donation to put lights out on Tucker Field behind our field house too, which will really be a great way for us to include more community and kids in the area in being able to participate on the fields in the wintertime when it gets dark at I know it's 4 o'clock, but sometimes it feels like noon, so it can start very early. So that's really exciting. Some other projects that we have in the works, a ski support area. That's something that we've been working on for a long time. Looking at making some updates to Lundholm Gymnasium with some digital scorers tables and updating the floor. Our soccer and lacrosse facility potentially out there where the lights will be on Tucker Field. And then what's really the most germane to this call and what we're excited about, because we're right in the middle of it right now, is the hockey arena renovations. So you'll hear more about this later in this call, but the Whittemore Center at Key Auto Group Complex is undergoing some significant renovations. We have looked at the architects. We had the RFP go out. We have a short list of architects, and we should hopefully be choosing the winning bid, I think, in the next week or so. So we're excited to get going on that and have them get those plans set. Basically, we shrank the ice last year to be a much more appropriate size for our teams. Our student athletes really love the way the ice is now, new boards, new glass for safety. But this almost 30-year-old facility had not had any renovations done to the back of the house areas, the student support areas, the coaching areas, since it was built. So this will be an area to renovate all of that: locker rooms, coaches' offices, strength and conditioning area. And again, you'll see some renderings and hear more about that. But we're really excited to be moving forward with that. We've been fortunate enough to get $6 million in funding from the state for this project, which is, I think, unheard of in this area, but excited to move forward. And we had a wonderful lead donor, hence the Key Auto Group Complex, who provided us $4 million to get the project started as well. So we've been working really hard to continue to raise money for that project. We're slowly getting there, but we also have some support from the university, who will be redoing the entire HVAC system in the whole arena, which will provide air conditioning for commencement, which is in the Whittemore Center at Key Auto Group Complex now every year, but also will provide air conditioning and great climate control for the locker room spaces, the back of the house spaces, which right now really have very little airflow at all. So it's going to be an amazing project. We're really excited. And the best part about this is, again, getting back to that student athlete experience. This is really going to make that experience for our student athletes really special. They're going to feel really cared for. They're going to have the opportunity to prepare and train in top level, state-of-the-art facilities. It's already helping us with recruiting. We're showing this to prospects coming in, and they're all very excited to be a part of something new and exciting that we're building. So we have this great tradition of success and wonderful coaching and support. And now we'll have this fantastic facility to be able to host them and really help them be the best that they can possibly be in all areas of their time at UNH. So that's pretty exciting. This project will also be helpful for the university, the community, and the state, which is also pretty exciting. We have quite a few student fans who make a great difference when they're there in the arena. We have recreation and club sport programs who use the arena. We have fans that come in for our games. They come in for outside events as well. That brings in revenue to the town of Durham, brings in revenue to the state. A lot of people stay in Portsmouth, spend a lot of money there. So it's really kind of a special connection with the town and the community and beyond, that we're able to bring so many people in to see our fantastic area here in town and the Seacoast area. And it's also getting back again to that front porch, bringing as many people as possible into the area so they see how special a place UNH is and want to continue engaging with us, build partnerships with us, help us as we look out for creative ways to increase our ticket sales, sponsorship revenue, things like that, again, to best support our student athletes and our coaches. So I just want to thank you again for being on this call. It is fantastic to connect with you, alumni, fans, parents. This is one of my favorite things that I get to do is really engage with people and talk about how special a place this is. And so thank you for engaging with us. We're going to keep trying to make you proud as much as we possibly can. And I'm happy to answer any questions, but with that, I will turn it back over to Hillary. So thanks for having me and thanks for being here.
And as far as questions go, Allison, people can put their questions into the chat function. We'll throw those in. A couple that come to mind, knowing you've been here a short time, that seems like a long time. You really immersed yourself in the community. You live in Durham. You can give your address if you'd like, but can you talk a little bit about when you've met people with the women's hockey program, how rich the history is, how important this sport is to UNH athletics?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, people are really excited to talk about their experiences, either when they played or when they used to come and watch the games, or now when they come in and watch the games. I mean, there's so much pride in the great things that our student athletes accomplish, that this team has accomplished over the years. We had a Patty Kazmaier winner. It's really, there's so much so much special history and tradition here. I was really excited to be a part of this from the very beginning, and I hear that from our fans all the time, how great it is.
And the changes that you talked about, everything from locker rooms at the field house to what's happening with the Whittemore Center, this isn't because, hey, we have all this extra money, let's just do this for fun. This is necessary. These are needed changes. You said it before, almost 30 years old, and the landscape of the sport has changed. So to compete at the highest level, you need to make the place as attractive as possible for top student athletes.
That's absolutely true. So I think we might be the last of the competition that we play against to be starting a renovation of our arena. There's some beautiful facilities out there. There are some amazing facilities at places that we think, wow, why do they have that kind of facility? But they have the support and they're able to do that, and they're great. But I think this is going to really make a difference for us. I mean, this is a special place. Like I said, we have wonderful people, we have great program and tradition, but to be able to show the facilities and really show the student athletes that we're investing in them and their experience, their time here, that's really critical. It is also necessary, as you say, you know, the airflow I mentioned, the space available. You know, we have student athletes walking back and forth across the dark street at night to get from the arena to the weight room across the street. This will allow them to kind of do everything in one place. There'll be a place for them to be able to study when they're there for meetings and for practice, and they have time in between. It's not going to be wasted time. So it's really something that's going to enhance their experience and enhance the experience of everybody who uses the facility. And you're right, when you talk about the funds, I mean, these are not great budget times right now for UNH, but it's exciting to be able to continue to grow and have the support of our alumni and fans to help us continue to grow and provide these outstanding facilities and opportunities to our student athletes.
Terrific. Well, thank you, Allison. Appreciate your time here and your support. And we will bring back Hillary Witt now. And Coach, how, I don't know if the word refreshing is the important one here, but when you hear the athletic director echo what you're thinking, how important it is for this project, that's got to make you feel good as a head coach.
Oh, absolutely. And since day one, when Allison came on board, she's been supportive of this project. So, and also, you know, very important, she's supportive of all student athletes, but as a coach of a women's sport, it's been great to have the support from our athletics director and the entire department, and knowing that this program deserves the best, and trying to give us what we need to compete at the national level, which is what is expected from our alums and our friends and our parents and our student athletes and our staff. So yeah, just very, very grateful, and we're so excited about the future here at UNH.
We'll talk more about the future. We have one of our first questions in the chat, which is the team is coming off a great 5-point weekend. What are some of the factors that are making a difference? And then what does the coming weekend look like?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is just being prepared to play from the start, and buying in and being ready to compete, right? So we have plenty of talent, like all teams have talent, but nobody can win in college hockey right now without that compete level. And we've had it, but not as consistent and as consistent as we needed. So we came off a few tough games, and the greatest part about this team is that we didn't, as coaches, have to really motivate the players to practice hard and get ready for this past weekend. They wanted to, you know, they're competitive. They believe we can compete for the Hockey East Championship. They're excited about it, and they were pretty disappointed in the play the 3 prior games. So it was pretty easy to get them excited to show up at the arena and practice hard and focus on getting into league play. So they were ready to go. We were ready to go on Friday against BU. You know, we were ready from the start. That was exciting. We've had a lot of success when we've scored first. You know, and then they were excited to play Boston College the next day, and then 15 seconds in, we're down 1-0. And you know, I didn't worry at all, even though, you know, we have struggled when we were down, because I just knew the mindset the team was in. And then we responded incredibly quickly to tie it up and just have such an amazing game on Saturday. So we obviously wanted to come out with 3 points. But against the team that's in first place in the conference, to come out of there with 2 points and 5 points on the weekend was just a huge boost for us. And, you know, we're ready to go again this Friday against Northeastern.
One of the things I know when we talk about identity with the team, you say one thing you want UNH to be known for is a difficult team to play against. Can you elaborate more on what you feel this identity is, and specifically about being tough to play against?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we saw this past weekend is exactly who we are and who we need to be to have success. And that's just tenacious all over the puck. We have to be aggressive. We have to work hard. We have to recover when we make a mistake, forecheck hard, back check hard, block shots. And we need to be gritty by the net. And I think that was what I was most excited about this past weekend, was our grit around the net. We were tougher on sticks. We were putting pucks there. We were giving ourselves a chance to put in rebounds. We scored 2 goals this weekend. I talk about it all the time with our team. Hard work creates goals that maybe shouldn't be, right? So we had one deflect off of our forechecker, then off of a BU player, and then in the net on Friday. And then same thing on Saturday. We get the puck in the net, deflects off BC's D, and it goes in. And I tell our team all the time, you know, like, all the ESPN highlight or NHL Network highlight goal or ESPN Plus highlight goal counts the same as one that might hit off somebody's knee and go in the net. They all count the same in hockey. So you don't get extra points for beauty in hockey. You gotta grind it out, and that's what our team is.
So it's an exciting time with the current hockey team. If you have more questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to talk about the future, but history is important here, including your coaching staff. We've already met the athletic director, Allison Rich, but when you talk about Rich and history, some of these great alums happen to be members of your coaching staff, Coach Witt. So I leave it to you to introduce them to us.
Yeah, so history is really important to me, and the history of our sport and how it started, where it came from, and the schools that sponsored it from the beginning. UNH is one of those schools who's always supported women's hockey. UNH was fortunate enough to be able to recruit way out west in Western Canada to back in the late 90s to recruit Stephanie Jones, who's the class of 05, Hockey East Player of the Year in 05, had an amazing playing career and has been here pretty much her entire life. So I think she spent more time here in Durham than she did in British Columbia. So Stephanie Jones is our associate head coach, and very, very excited to have her. Steph, I'm not sure you want to say anything.
Yeah, no, you're right. I have been here. Hopefully you can hear me longer here than out in Western Canada. And, you know, this is a special place. It's home. And, you know, I'm very fortunate to be here to work with this staff and our girls in this program. It really is a special place.
We also have Sam Faber, class of 09, who, you know, both these guys were very successful on the ice, but played in national championships in the Frozen Four, which, just a side note, we are hosting this year. But Sam played in some of the best times of UNH hockey. Very skilled player. She comes to us from Long Island, and when the position opened a couple of years ago, we had a very short list, and it consisted of Sam Faber. So we were fortunate to steal her away from LIU and have her leave home, which is very close to her family, to come back to her other home here in Durham. So I was so fortunate also to have Sam. So I'm not sure you want to say anything, Sam.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be back here. This is literally my home away from home. My best times were playing hockey at the University of New Hampshire, and I'm just so grateful to be a coach here now and just trying to get this program back to where it was. And we're doing everything we can as a staff, and with the support of all of you, we really appreciate it. So looking forward to the future and keep going up.
Thanks, Sam.
Coach, if I could ask a question, I want both Steph and Sam to answer. By the way, Shannon Sisk says 4-time Hockey East champ to introducing Sam, who loves that.
Thanks,
how does it
Shannon.
change your perspective? And Steph, you can go first, and Sam, coming back as a coach and seeing all the alums now and knowing what needs to happen to get better in the future compared to when you were a player.
Yeah, great question. You know, it wasn't that long ago, but so much has changed, you know, for just like athletes preparation, things like that. You know, there's not just, you know, you don't just show up for practice and maybe a lift, you know, there's so much preparation, pre-practice preparation, post-practice, nutrition, mental skills, you know, before it was you know, kind of get a little stretch going here and there, things like that. You know, our players are so proactive. They want to be able to play, you know, injury prevention. You know, we have a wonderful athletic trainer that works with us and our strength coach. So it's more of just, you know, giving our players the resources they need. There's plenty of research out there and how much it does prepare and really does extend their college career from injuries and things like that. You know, and also like the resources they need academically. You know, I have to give our team so much credit. They want to do the best they possibly can on and off the ice, and we just want to provide them with the resources to be excellent.
Yeah, I think Steph said it great. And just to like add on that, you know, when we played here back in the day, the Whittemore Center was, you know, new, right? It was cool. It was the best thing in Hockey East. Like everybody wanted to play at UNH, and everyone wanted the Whittemore Center to be their home. So with this new renovation, like it's the most exciting news for our program, and the girls are really going to benefit from it. And recruiting wise, it's huge for us. Like we need to be on the same platform with the teams we're competing with. And I think this is a big step for us. So all the support we're getting for it. And once, you know, it all gets into fruition, it's going to be a great thing for our program, and it's going to continue for us to drive and get better and better every year.
Thank you, Coach Faber, Coach Jones. Appreciate your insight as well. And that leads us to more talk about the future, Coach Witt. We'll have a special guest joining us in a few moments to talk about what's next. But I want to ask you just about the landscape of college hockey, women's college hockey. It has grown. It has grown immensely, and that is a wonderful thing. But it's also a very challenging thing when you're recruiting and coaching and trying to beat so many schools that have invested in this sport that 10, 20 years ago, it was a lot different looking around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a little bit older than Steph, maybe a lot older than Sam, but when I played in the 90s, you know, there were 12, 13 teams. I think by the time I graduated, there were maybe 15 teams total. You know, now we're north of 40. And there's schools that didn't have women's hockey back then that do now, that, you know, people are shocked. We tell people all the time, hey, you know, UNH was on the front porch. UNH was the school that supported this sport before others. And, you know, some folks, you know, they hear about Ohio State and Wisconsin and Minnesota and those guys, Colgate. You know, those guys didn't support women's hockey when it wasn't cool, I guess you could say. And now they are. And so it makes it a little bit harder for, you know, UNH and of the worlds to be able to sustain that top of the country title. So we have to find creative ways to get our program back into that national picture. And Allison's been really helpful with that. And Michelle Brunner here also, she's an senior associate athletics, deputy athletics director. She's got a lot of titles. But these folks are trying really hard to let all sports at UNH, not just women's hockey, find a way to compete with some of these universities that do have more resources for their athletics departments. And so it is a much different world than it was when most of our supporters that were here when UNH was winning all those championships. It's a much different world now. There's so much money in it. We could be on this Zoom for days with the way that schools are providing resources and money and those types of things to their student athletes. And the reality of it is, you know, UNH isn't going to try to compete with all of that. We're not going to have that, but we can have we could have a renovation to an arena or to the women's locker room project or lights on a field. We can have the great people that work here that support our student athletes, which is what to me makes UNH UNH. We can have this incredibly beautiful campus, and we have so many great things. But there is a reality that other teams are going to have more resources, and we may have to be more creative to find ways to give our student athletes the experience they absolutely deserve in order for us to compete for national championships, because ultimately that's what they all want, and that's why they come here. So you know, it's a crazy landscape. It's changing. You guys all watch the news. I think people forget that we're Division I, and so isn't University of Michigan football. They're Division I, but we live on different planets. And so the support we can get from everyone is really greatly appreciated, and every little bit helps. And because we want to bring national championships back to UNH.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about the future with Kevin Conley in just a moment. But I want one more thing about the present, reminding the student athletes and what they mean to us. Just in the last few days alone, You had the amazing weekend we talked about. Right after the game was Saturday night, you had 6 student athletes talking with season ticket members about their lives. On Monday morning, they were in Portsmouth skating around with the community. And all this, whenever they have to come exercise in the field house, they have to walk across the street. They never complain about what kind of conditions they're walking around. It really is amazing. In this time of year, when the rest of their classmates and UNH students have been on break, there is no break when it comes to being a hockey player at UNH.
Yeah, absolutely not. Hockey is very unique. You used to have your first game maybe October 15th, or my first practice October 15th. Now I talk to Allison a lot about how we're a fall sport. We're not really a winter sport. And I was laughing today because we were talking about how gymnastics and skiing just had their first competitions, and we're like 3/4 of the way through our season already, and we're both winter sports. So, it's a very unique sport. We play a very long season. Our student athletes there's a lot of demands on them. It's really stressful and hard. But that's what they signed up for. They knew that was what it was going to be, and they're hockey players. They love it. They thrive on it, and but yeah, they would love to be able to not have to walk across the street when it's minus 10 degrees out to get a lift in. They also need to take some good advice from their coaches and put some sweatpants on when they do that. But we'll keep working on that. But the reality of it is these kids today, there's so much pressure on them, in the sense that, decades ago, you'd go to class, you'd go to hockey, you'd go to the dining hall, you'd go study, go to bed, get up, go to class, go to, practice, go to the dining hall. Now these kids, they care so much about everything. They want to be the best, obviously the best students they can be. They want to be the best athletes they can be. They want to be helpful and supportive and great members of the community. They want to do great things in their lives. They like to spend a lot of time on social media. But the reality of it is they're busy from, the time they wake up to the time they go to bed. They're connected to something, and it's a lot on them. And so for us to be able to create a space where, they can get some of those things done a little bit more efficiently and have a little bit more time to focus on other things as well, it will just make their experience that much better. And we're looking forward to it. We're excited. And of course, as coaches, we're excited about it, but we're excited about it because we're excited for the student athletes.
Thank you, Coach Witt. We'll check back with you in a few minutes, but I think a better segue can't be said than someone who strives for greatness, is all about social media. The director of athletics development, Kevin Conley. Kevin, look at behind you already. The future is in your screen. So you've already set this up nicely. And tell us more about the Whittemore Center at Key Auto Group Complex now, and what we're hoping to achieve here and what we will achieve.
Well, obviously, Allison spoke about it, so did Hillary. We're at a really exciting point because we do have lead funding for this, and we are moving forward with this project. So we're at a critical juncture for this, and we really want to use this opportunity to show what our vision is for how we want to move forward with the renovation of the Whittemore Center, and what the next steps are and how people can join us. We've had that very important funding from the state, $6 million, as Allison said, and we have a lead donor. They gave us $4 million. So that $10 million allowed us to move forward and get to this point with the project. And we continue to talk with many people. It's been a long juncture to get to this point. We've had people, we've been working with Hillary and Stephanie, and obviously Sam has joined them recently. We've had a committee. We've been discussing this of the best way to move forward. Right now, as Allison said, we have an RFP out. We are going to be moving forward with design renderings. What we're about to show this group here are the conceptual renderings. These are what we've have envisioned now for several years of what we want to do with this project. And I'm just going to share my screen so we can give people a pretty good glimpse of what we expect to do with this project. Murph, if you can just confirm that you are seeing my screen.
I do see the screen. And before we get into this, can you tell us what the perspective we had? So when we saw the picture behind you, if you're present day, where would you be to see what we just saw?
Sure. We will see that picture in the slideshow, but that will be on the back of the Whittemore Center. So most people enter from the front, which would be coming off Memorial Field, which abuts to Main Street. The Wildcat statue is there on Main Street. Memorial Field is where our women's field hockey team plays, and then the front entrance to the Whittemore Center. The the rendering behind me would be on the back entrance. That's actually where the opposing team buses park and where they enter in. And we have a really exciting build out, which is part of this project. So it would be on the back side of the Whittemore Center, Murph.
Thank you. Take it away.
Very welcome. I'm going to show you some basic schematics of what we're proposing to do. And I do want to reiterate, we have a design firm that will be hired over the next couple of months, as Allison said, or I should say over the next couple of weeks. They will begin work over the next couple of months. What will probably happen in 2024 is the architectural renderings and the engineers will be working on this, and they will map out a blueprint of exactly what will be done. But they're starting with these conceptual renderings that we had done by a company a couple of years ago. You can see in the light blue on the arena, that is where the women's hockey locker room is. It's where it currently exists. There is designs for a build out to put a study nutrition area off that. We'll see the exact renderings of what we hope they will look like. And then the men's locker room is on the left of that in the blue. Right now, one of the issues we have is we have just that one hallway, which is not secure. It's not private. There is a lot of different people who have access to that hallway, and that's where the women's team might be stretching before a game. There is just not ample room for them to do any pre-treatment, any workouts, any cool downs. And you may have someone who's using the service elevator and coming down with some of the concessions that have to go through that hallway. So there is a need to reimagine what this space looks like. You can see from this rendering the area we have to work with. And this renovation is just going to be the team spaces, the behind the scenes, the underneath the arena. And what we can see in all of those spaces there, that is what is built out. To the lower end of that, they never dug out when they originally did the Whittemore Center, any space there. So we are working within a bit of a confined space. And we're really excited about some of the enhancements we're going to make here. There's going to be a new strength and conditioning space that is going to be added. That'll be the only additional footprint that we will go outside of the current footprint. We'll see more of that on the next slide. But we're also going to have an increased sports medicine room, a video room, and then we're going to ideally move some of the locker rooms over to the end zone, which you can see in the green area there, which would be some of the general locker rooms that we have. I do want to stress too that this is going to benefit the men's program, the women's program, and our field hockey program as well, because we do plan to bring over the field hockey team so that they will be properly housed and have a locker room right outside their field where they play at Memorial Field. On this rendering here, I just want to point out this is one level up, and you can see that the red area will be the strength and conditioning space. It'll be extended beyond the current footprint, and this will allow us to really have our men's and women's teams and our field hockey teams utilize this space. We have the Jerry Azuma Performance Center at the field house. It is taxed because we have 20 sports programs that utilize that. We have some strength and conditioning coaches over here, but it's going to really put us more on par with our Division I competitors, where we'll have a separate strength and conditioning space here at the Whittemore Center. So our men's and women's teams and our field hockey teams don't have to leave practice, go outside during sub-freezing temperatures, walk over to do a cool down or a workout over there. The next few slides are really what's sort of exciting, because we're going to see the renderings of what we're proposing to do when we work with the design firm. This is an external entrance, which would be where the field hockey locker room would leave the field. So this is essentially near the Zamboni entrance. So they would have access to Memorial Field where they play, coming right out of their locker room here. So we're excited to be able to move the women's field hockey program over into this project so that they are housed right where they play. Talking with Robin Balducci, our longtime field hockey coach, she says during inclement weather, the opposing team has a locker room there and they can go into the locker room at halftime. Our home team has to go into the WIT lobby, and they are surrounded by other fans during the halftime if that's where they're going to go in during inclement weather. So it's really much needed to support that program as well. This is a similar view of what you saw before. So this is, again, on the back side of the Whittemore Center. This would be the bump out that would house our strength and conditioning facility. Much needed when we were kind of going over the case for this, and Hillary can attest, the student athletes have to find spaces just to stretch, to warm up. They're lined in the hallway, and they really don't have appropriate spaces for this. This is a zoomed in view of the strength and conditioning space. Ideally, it would be glassed in, would be visible from the outside, would have some natural light that would come into it. And now we're going to step inside and take a look at what it would look like in there. Obviously, they have weight racks for the team to do a full workout. They'll have a running track up above so that the team could do some warm-ups, get their legs stretched out. And then they have some space inside that they could do sled pushes, they could do stretching, they could do a variety of things along with other equipment that is needed for the strength and conditioning space. A better view here of the racks that would be used by the programs, ideally appropriately branded with the Wildcat flooring as well. So this is something we're really excited about, and really is a signature piece of this that we're seeing with all of the other facilities within Division I college hockey programs. And it will really give us a chance to sort of join those competitors. And it would be just a huge enhancement for our programs and our student athletes. They're spending so much time at their facilities. We need to make sure that they have all of the adequate needs while they're there. And now we get inside of what a conceptual rendering of a new locker room would look like. It would be space for all of the student athletes to be in there. It would have better branding. Really excited for this. There would be place for them to put their personal items in lockers. There would be places to lift up underneath their seating, to put in items there as well. And then you can see on the far side, there is an open doorway there. Currently, in Hillary in the women's locker room, they've tried to create a lounge on the backside of their locker room. But as she will attest, their lockers are original to 1995 when the facility first opened. They were done in a way that they have lasted nearly 30 years in high quality wood product, but it's much needed time to refresh those and get away from sort of that wooden locker room, square rectangular feel to the more modern day. What we're going to do now is step into that far room that we see there, and this would be the nutrition study space. You know, we see some of the student athletes when they get to the facility early, they might be laying on the floor trying to watch TV. Some people have to hop on a quick Zoom meeting. You can see here, we need facilities that allow our student athletes that may be showing up a couple of hours before practice. They need pre-treatment. They might have to connect with someone from a class or a professor, and we're just not equipped to really handle our student athletes to be over at the Whittemore Center for hours on end. So this allows us to have proper nutrition, proper study area, and a place for the student athletes to be able to continue the learning process while they are on our facilities and continue that bonding process as well. And to answer a question, and Hillary can talk to this more, that Mike had posed earlier about the nutrition aspect, we need to make sure we are properly fueling our student athletes. They may spend an hour in pre-treatment at the strength and conditioning space. They may be on the ice for an hour and a half practice. They may go do a cool down or a full lift. They are burning calories during this time frame. They don't always have time to jump right over to the dining hall and fuel their bodies after their grueling workouts throughout the day. So we need to make sure that we have nutrition and proper fueling housed right at the Whittemore Center where they are. So this will allow us to have the infrastructure so that this can be done, because both the men's and women's programs are already, I shouldn't say experimenting with Hillary, but I know some of the shakes and some of the proteins that you guys get from Chappie, you know, are designed to put in the proper fuel back into the body and make sure they can compete at an optimal level.
Yeah, absolutely. The nutrition piece of it is key, and you know, a lot of research has been done to just prove how important it is for these student athletes. I'm chuckling because right now I'm a little worried that some of the food that Chappie has provided for both the men's and women's teams downstairs might be being consumed by some synchronized skaters. So I'm gonna make sure that's locked up when I go downstairs. But you know, it's just these kids are incredibly busy these days as well. Like they're running from class, they're running from a meeting, they're running from a group project, and to be able to access the correct nutrition that they need to be the best athletes they can be right there at the arena is just so incredibly important. And it's just one of the many things that's changed over the years with athletics in all different at every school and all different sports is that nutrition piece and having that access right where you compete.
So this is a much needed space. And then I'm going to move over into the video room. So this would be revamping what is currently a multi-purpose area that is used for Hillary to maybe break down film with her team. It's also used as a press room. This would be some theater style seating so that all of the student athletes can fit in there. They can break down film, they can view it. And again, it would be a space that is used by multiple teams as well, ideally with proper branding. This is our sports medicine area. One of the things right now is we don't have hot and cold tubs. So you can see in the background here, it's going to greatly improve the athletic training facilities. It'll be appropriately sized, and it will allow our student athletes to get the proper post-workout treatment, whether that's hot tubs, cold tubs, to make sure their bodies recover at the quickest level possible. So this is something that is, it's certainly not cutting edge, but it will get us up to what our competitors have, and we're seeing this at facilities across the country. So we're excited to certainly revamp and reimagine what our sports facilities will look like for our sports medicine program. And with that, this is sort of the hockey slide you saw before. It's just an external rendering again of the strength and conditioning space. And I want to just offer everybody, you know, a chance to join us. For us to be successful, we have that lead donor, but we have about 5.5 million in fundraising we still need to do. We're getting 7.2 million from the university as part of the new HVAC throughout the entire arena. But we really need the support of all of our alumni, fans, friends, from all of the programs that are going to be benefiting from this, and then those supporters at large. And we will provide a follow-up for those that have joined us with some contact information. We please really ask that you guys will think hard about joining us, consider supporting this project. And then also, if there's other people that may have interest in this project, we would love some names, any recommendations you have in our team in development with the coaches, with Allison and all of administration. Certainly we'll reach out and we want to get in front of as many people as we can about this project. We do have a website that we will share a link to that so you can see more of the details. It has contact information, and it also has ways to make gifts. We have gifts that are coming in, and we have pledges, multi-year pledges for those that want to make even a more impactful gift to the project. So we really thank everyone for joining us today, and I'm just glad we have this opportunity to sort of share where we are with this project and what our vision is for it.
Kevin, thank you. Thank you and your team for all the work you're putting in. Now we've seen what the future can be. Do we have a timeline? What is the realistic look at when some of these things will be implemented?
Sure. The good news is we're moving forward. The tough part is the clock is ticking, right? So we have a very limited timeline to finish our fundraising for this. The architectural rendering firm will be selected probably in February. It'll be a 9 to 12 month process for the engineers to do their final designs. So we expect 2024 to really be the background, the interviews, all of the site work, so that when the construction firm comes in, they're ready to break ground and they know exactly what they're doing. We expect to break ground in early 2025, and that'll be about an 18-month process of the entire construction process. One of phase ones right now they're considering is building out the new strength and conditioning space, and they will use that as transition space. So they will build out the strength and conditioning space, and we might need to house our teams in there as locker room space as they do some of the other work. But back to your specific question, Murph, we're moving forward. The RFP is out, and we'll have a firm in place to do the design work in 2024, and we expect to break ground in 2025.
Looking forward to it. Kevin, thank you so much. Appreciate you being on.
You're welcome.
And people can see more. Hey, Coach Witt, we'll bring you back in to wrap this up here. We've talked about a lot from the current team getting ready for Northeastern and then UConn at home Sunday at noon in the Witt Center at Key Auto Group Complex, and talked about the history of the program and certainly the future. Pretty exciting, definitely pretty exciting. So I guess, how do you put a bow on this and what we talked about here tonight with all these special guests?
And I think I would say that UNH hockey right now, we're in a fun place, and we're a place where I think all of our supporters, alumni, parents, fans want us to be, where we're fighting for positioning in Hockey East. You know, we play UConn this weekend. They're sitting in second place. We've split with them so far this year. We play Northeastern for the first time Friday. We're really excited to play them. We're 1 point behind them in the conference. You know, we tied BC, who's top of the league, last Saturday. And so for us in our program, our kids, our team, our coaches, everybody's excited about the opportunity for us to go fight for this Hockey East championship. And, you know, I appreciate all the support we've had over the years. And I hope we can continue to have that. And mostly our student athletes, they want to see people in the seats. They want to see, you know, people supporting them. And it's a great product. And what they do and they give every single day deserves a lot of recognition. So I'm just really proud of our team. I love our group. We have a lot of seniors and grad students this year. We have a lot of experience, and we really want to compete for this championship. But also we want to thank all those people who have made it possible for us to compete for championships. So we really do appreciate your time.
And Donna pointed it out. We can't forget, looking ahead, Maine is coming to town the 26th and 27th, 6 o'clock on the Friday night. But then Saturday at 4 is Alumni Day and the first ever White Out the Wit for the women's team. So make sure everyone wears white. But it's great to know the alumni will be back. So many who are here, so many who will watch this after, and they'll all be gathering in Durham real soon.
Yeah, and Donna, I just guess I have one question. Are you going to put the gear on and play goalie in the 3v3 this year?
Absolutely.
All right. We're going to
Yeah,
see
I
if
have-
Sam Faber can score off you.
Oh, geez. Thanks, Sam.
That's why I'm leaving the Christmas tree up. It's my good vibes.
Yeah, no, the alumni game is always a lot of fun, and it's so good to see everybody come back and hang out and catch up on with everybody. So
Terrific.
Awesome.
Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. Coach Witt, thank you for your time. Allison Rich, Kevin Conley, Sam Faber, Steph Jones, I'm Mike Murphy. We're going to wrap things up and make sure you keep up with the Wildcat women's hockey team at our website, unhwildcats.com.